Hi, my name is Rebecca Lee, and I co-wrote this book, The Mercury Detoxification Manual, with Andy Cutler, PhD. And in my last video, I talked about what Catherine Austen-Fitts has labeled the Great Poisoning. I also mentioned the impression of a newcomer to our country that everyone is sick, and my observation that even the dogs have anxiety disorder. The teaching hospital in my town is as big as an international airport. Its parking lot is packed thick with cars. When a shift changes, hundreds of employees stream out and hundreds more drive in. It never used to be that way. When my mom wound up in the hospital one summer when I was small, there was just the Mary Fletcher, a kind of a shabby old building and not very big at that. Now we have the Fletcher Allen Hospital conglomerate, which has absorbed and digested Mary Fletcher, Fanny Allen, and the de Gozerian hospitals. In the Middle Ages, cathedrals used to be the biggest buildings in a city. Now it is these monoliths, calling the medical pharmaceutical cartel. The cathedral, as some do, is not far off. Sit down and watch network TV, and a huge percentage of the advertising is from pharmaceutical manufacturers. No, it didn't used to be that way. The economy almost runs on people being sick and the business of caring for them. I even saw an ad on YouTube for a franchise for providing services to children with autism. You care about people, it told me. Invest in this growth industry. An explanation followed of how the health insurance companies are required by law to pay for whatever it is that this franchise offers. When people in my tribe, as someone called it, figure out that they have chronic mercury poisoning, they get all excited. It explains everything. All their symptoms fit. All their friends and family's symptoms fit too. You can't frigging shut up trying to point this out to people. I've become a zealot, one lady told me sadly. Nobody really cares to hear, though. They must go through quite a journey before they are ready to listen. It has to do with being on the near side of a paradigm. Those of us on the far side see it as clear as day, but not too many people want to hear anything about it. My daughter asked me if I couldn't use some word other than mercury in the title of my business. It is clear that I'm onto something, but I have driven everybody off with talking about it, about mercury, and they wish I could be into something else, like, I don't know, Lyme disease. There are a lot of poisons out there. There is glyphosate that is in all our food now, and plasticizers they're everywhere, and they mimic estrogen, and of course aluminum. Most people believe that mercury is just one poison among many, but no, it is not. It is an underlying cause, and much of the time, the underlying cause. Everybody in the anti-product that must not be named community is now talking about aluminum. Mercury was supposedly removed from said products, but I'm not so sure. And according to Cutler, aluminum is only retained in the presence of mercury. It comes down on its own when you remove mercury from the body. In Hair Test Interpretation, another book that Andy wrote, I read that aluminum causes about 10 different symptoms, including confusion and poor mental focus, cardiomyopathy, possibly Alzheimer's disease, and it's possibly a trigger for sarcoidosis. Mercury, on the other hand, causes over 250 different problems, and the medical and scientific literature has been discussing these for centuries. There are so many symptoms that when I write about them, I have a problem organizing them in any coherent way. And in fact, in our book, we flag having multiple seemingly unrelated symptoms as pointing to mercury. Glyphosate and aluminum and the other toxins contribute, but it is mercury that can explain the vast range of dysfunction we are seeing in our kids. We put it nicely on page 11 of the detox manual, if I do say so. And I quote, cyanide and carbon monoxide block the hemoglobin's ability to carry oxygen. Ozone destroys the lining of your lungs. Hexavalent chromium oxidizes your DNA. All the plastics and plasticizers in the environment are estrogen mimics and agonize or antagonize one or a handful of estrogen receptors in your body. But mercury is different from ordinary poisons. It doesn't just harm you in one way. Mercury interferes with a vast number of fundamental metabolic processes. It causes hundreds of different symptoms, and any individual may experience some or a great many of these at any time. There is a lot of mercury poisoning in our society. People don't see it. People can't even see that they are poisoned with anything, actually. But that big full-up parking lot up at the hospital and the relentless flogging of products to treat autoimmune diseases and so forth, and the untoward and burgeoning power of the pharma industry says we are. We are poisoned with a complex metabolic toxin, and with a complete metabolic toxin, and half our society runs on dealing with the repercussions. Andy Cutler figured out a method to get mercury out of your body, and that is why I keep saying he should have got a Nobel Prize. It's not a straightforward process, as moving such a powerful poison is dangerous. In my next video, I will attempt to describe what this method is and why you should skip right to what Andy advised and not waste your time with the charismatic psychopaths, as I call them. Some of the above promote outright dangerous and harmful supplements and methods. The victims wind up in our support groups with their health destroyed. Others have taken up Andy's protocol and made it their own without giving any credit, and also changing things that they don't really have the knowledge to mess with. So stay tuned for my next video, in which I will describe how the Andy Cutler protocol is set up and why it is set up that way. So please like and share and all those good things. It would be nice if the word got out and more of those poor sick people out there, as Andy called them, could find out about this way to finally get well.